Welcome to the final episode of the Summer 2020 College Day webinar series. Each week, we ask high school students the question, where are you going to college and how can we help you get there? Today's episode, Stories of College Student Success, is presented by your very own hosts, Ramona and Madison. This series of webinars, presented each week, connects high school students to the topics, the people, and the resources to help them prepare for their college journey. We thank our sponsors, the KCP College Day Initiative and the Office of Pre-College Programming at Western Michigan University. And we like to start each episode with a land acknowledgement.
Yes, absolutely. And would you like to do that today, or would it be me?
We'd like to recognize that Western Michigan University is located on lands historically occupied by Ojibwe, Ottawa, and Potawatomi nations. Please take a moment to acknowledge and honor this ancestral land of the Three Fires Confederacy, the sacred lands of all Indigenous peoples, and their continued presence. We'd like to say hello to all those watching us live on Zoom and on Facebook Live, as well as those who will be joining us later in videos. Each week, the hosts of the series join you to help spread college knowledge. I am Dr. Ramona Lewis. My pronouns are she, her, and hers, and I serve as a faculty member at Western Michigan University in the Department of Educational Leadership, Research, and Technology, and I specialize in higher education leadership.
And I'm Madison Liebler. My pronouns are she, her, hers as well. I am a current master's degree student, earning my master's at Western Michigan University in higher education and student affairs. And I am assisting Dr. Lewis with this webinar series for you all.
Thanks, Madison. So those joining us via Zoom live can be sure to make any comments or ask any questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to respond. So like we do each week, let's start off with a few trivia questions. This poll is interactive, so those watching via Zoom, please join in.
All right. Here we go. Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm going to go back to it. So if you're watching this on Facebook Live, like usual, you should be able to see it on your screen or not. There we go. A little bit different today. Okay, so if you're playing on Zoom, as usual, you can come in and vote with us. It is going to be me and Dr. Lewis today, so it's a little bit different. And you should see the question on your screen. So in 2015-2016, what percentage of U.S. college students were first-generation college students? And your options are 10%, 23%, 56%, or 90%. And then the second question is, how many colleges are there in Michigan? And the options are 12, 36, 78, or 93. And give me one moment, guys. Okay, so you should see it on your screen. And it's a little bit different. And I'll give you a moment to vote. Here we go. So now Dr. Lewis can vote too. It's a little more casual today for those of us watching because it's just me and Dr. Lewis today, live.
How many colleges are there in Michigan? Wow.
It's a hard question. I didn't know this one before I found it online.
Okay, we'll see how our crowd did today.
All right. So here are our results. For those of us who can see it on the screen, you can see that our answers were for 56% for the first one and 36% for the second question. And the first one is correct. In 2015-2016, 56% of U.S. college students were first-generation students. And what that means is that neither of their parents had achieved a bachelor's degree in the past. So they were first generation college students, and it's 56% in 2015-2016. And then how many colleges are there in Michigan? And our answers were for 36, and that's actually incorrect. There are 93, which I thought was crazy. But that is also inclusive of some trade schools, some 2-year schools, 4-year schools, of course, public and private. So there's a lot of varieties of schools out there, not just maybe the 10 or so that you might be able to think of right away. So I threw that one in there to get us thinking of some different places.
Thanks. Those were enlightening to myself personally.
Okay. So
now that we've finished up our poll, we'll get right into our content for today, which is sharing with you stories of student success. Madison, take it away.
Absolutely. So I wanted to share with you today some stories of student success that I was able to find from Western and from other schools in Michigan, just to share some stories with you. The first one is this person, who is Elise McCutcheon, and she is an aspiring educator. She's a current WMU junior and is hoping to graduate in a few years and teach elementary education, preferably 3rd to 4th grade. And she definitely recommends talking to your advisors. She worked with Western to have a success coach, and that was a huge help for her. She also recommends that you study hard and encourages you to take the time and see the big picture. The next one that I have for you today is Devin Daniels, and he is a Mid-Michigan College graphic design graduate. He is actually a veteran, so he went into the military and then decided to come back to school and pursued his passion for graphic design. So you can see he's got some tips for us here. Do your homework, join some clubs, and he said he developed a caffeine addiction to fuel you for when you don't do your homework. And he's planning on going to the College for Creative Studies to continue and to get another degree in graphic design. So Devin Daniels did not do maybe what we kind of typically think of as a college student sometimes, where you leave high school and go right into college. But there are many paths to going to college, and just because you don't think that it's normal, there are many ways to success. The next one I have for us today is Simi Rosby, and she was a WMU Aviation Maintenance Technology graduate. She graduated a few years ago, and she's now working in Virginia at the Reagan Washington National Airport, and she works on maintenance on airplanes. So she works by night and fixes the planes so that they're ready to go in the morning. And she found what she wanted to do because she really liked hands-on learning, and she really liked working with her hands. And she decided to go to Western because we have a really great aviation program at Western. And one of her tips for success is to join student organizations and to network with others. And she attributes a lot of her success to building those relationships with professionals in her field, and is now happily employed and doing what she loves. And the last one that I have for us today is Amanda Shelton. And Amanda graduated from WMU as well in sociology and gender and women's studies. And since then, she has gone on to receive her master's in social work at the University of Michigan. She was in the CETA Scholars Program at WMU, which is a program that assists former foster care students and helps them acclimate to WMU and college life. She was in the foster care system for 13 years, and her goal is to advocate for foster youth all across Michigan and eventually bring change nationally and federally. She says you can do what you put your mind to, and I find her very inspiring as well. So I found these for you today to just kind of show that there are many paths to success, and whatever your goal is, whatever your idea of success is, it is achievable even if you come from a background that you think might be different than others, or even if you've taken a different path to get there. And that's why we're here, to help you get to college or to follow your dreams and be successful. So I'm going to take a moment and we're going to show you a video today. So bear with me. Here we go. Don't mind the ads, everyone. Okay. And hopefully this will work for us today. I got to make sure my audio is going. Okay. Enjoy.
You're nervous for college.
I was also really afraid that I was going to fail in the long run.
I'll give you this much, I'll give you that much, loans, subsidized, unsubsidized.
Coming into college and admitting that you don't really know how to do college can seem embarrassing, but really nobody knows how to do college. Being a first-generation student, a lot of it had been driven by myself because my parents never went through that process, and so I had to figure out what I was looking for personally in a school, which I've never thought about before. And so that part was difficult because since I had no frame of reference, I really didn't know what I wanted to look for in a school.
I loved school. I've always loved school, and I was very driven in high school too, but for some reason I just never actually thought I could do it because I couldn't see it. It didn't feel tangible. And when I was able to get a scholarship, I was like, I'm actually going to college. I can do this. People believe in me.
I had to figure out financial aid for the schools. I had to figure out how much my mother made. I had to figure out what kind of school I wanted to go to, where I'd fit in. And it was hard because at that point, being a senior in high school, I barely know who I am. I barely know what to expect in college.
Given that no one in my family has done it, and just not being able to have that advice because they didn't go through that, I was really afraid that I was going to let them down.
First-generation college students are immensely talented, and yet nationwide, we know first-gen students can struggle to adapt to the college environment. At Hope College, we have found that the problem is not with the student, but instead the environment that they're jumping into. We're also learning that it's not safe to assume all the things that first gens know. We've assembled a team of faculty and staff members to address some of these issues of equity, to create a first-generation student union that can create an environment where first-gen students can thrive, just like their non-first-gen peers.
Because I'm Haitian and I wasn't born here, I came here at a very young age. Education was pushed in my household. So right after high school, I knew that I had to go to college. And I feel that that's the reason why I take education so seriously, because I understand that like my mom came to America so that I could be who I want to be, and so that I can be someone that my family back in Haiti and my family back at home can look up to.
We're also paving the way for our families, for our friends. And I think that's one of the greatest advantages that we have, because we get to speak into them. And if someone wants to follow our path, we can definitely guide them and mentor them, or just give them words of advice that is going to be necessary to them.
My next brother just started college this year, and I have two in high school that are looking at college. And I think for me, setting that path that college is an attainable thing in our family is a big thing for me. And the times they've been here, they've really got to see what college is like, and that it's an attainable possibility for them since I'm here. And so that's been cool to see.
We know that nationally and at Hope, the number of first-gen students is only going to continue to rise. By creating a first-gen student union, this is our opportunity to be innovative with education and to be inclusive of the way we're creating environments to help all students succeed.
I understood that my education could completely change my life, that it opens so many doors. And I think that some students just go to college as the next stepping stone in their life. They don't really think about what does this really mean and how can this change my life. And I understood that because neither of my parents had that opportunity to get a degree.
I think being a first-generation student has taught me to always keep working hard, no matter if you really want to or not. Like I work two jobs now and I have two majors, and balancing that can be a really tricky task. But for me, I think it's really built me into somebody that can be resilient, and just kind of growing into being a fully independent adult.
Just because I'm a first-generation student doesn't mean that I'm any less knowledgeable as the other person. Just because I have my worries and my doubts and my uncertainties doesn't mean that when I do know the information, the world is my oyster. The only thing that's blocking me from walking on that other side of the mountain is the fact that I don't know. But when I do know, there's nothing that I can't do.
Don't ever forget that you are a trailblazer, because you're setting the path and you're changing the direction of where you want to go. You're taking the initiative of deciding what it is that you want to do and not leaving that for others to do that for you.
Okay. Thank you all for watching the video with us today. I chose that video because I thought it was a really great way to share some stories of first-generation students and to talk a little bit about the programs that exist for you when you do get to college. Sometimes it feels very overwhelming. I'm sure if you've been with us for this webinar series, you've been catching all the information that we're throwing at you. And I want to share that Hope College is in Michigan. It is in Holland, Michigan, and they have a program for first-generation students. WMU has a program for first-generation students, and many colleges in Michigan also have a program for you. And they exist to support you with whatever you might need. So I think that's really important to remember, that as you're going into this, you're not alone. As we know, 56% from 2015, 2016 were first-generation college students, and there is support out there for you. Some of that support is going to come in forms of resources, which leads me to my next point, to talk a little bit about the resources that we have been creating for you. And one of those things is the website. Over the course of the last few months, I've been making this website for you so that you can find these webinars anytime. So if you are a freshman or a sophomore or a junior and you're not quite ready to think seriously and start taking steps for college, you can come back to these later. You can watch them next summer. You can watch them as you're leading up to it. This is what the home screen is going to look like, and I've posted the link for you up here. You'll find that link just about everywhere, and we're posting it throughout College Day things as well. So you'll see a page like this, and there is information on what is College Day. Our webinars will be posted here, and then also there will be a resource page. And that resource page is going to be available to you by clicking on the upper right corner. There's a resource link. And I've just compiled some resources that our presenters have talked about, and some things that I've found helpful or found insightful that might help you along your way. It's by far not an exhaustive list, but I have been building it, and it's, I think, filled with some information that can be helpful for you. So I also wanted to address, this is the last episode in our webinar series. Kind of sad. I've really enjoyed making these. But what should you do now? And again, like I mentioned before, if you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, you may be feeling like there's nothing you can do right now. And I just recommend that you keep in touch and you stay informed. So just keep these on your mind. If you have goals to go to college, there are things that you can do now and think about. So as you make your decisions, you're thinking about that goal. You're thinking about that career that you want. So keep in touch with College Day. You can follow them on Facebook and see those posts that will come up about resources and things that can help you. And you can stay informed by looking at the website and rewatching those webinars as needed. Second, if you, no matter what grade you're in, but especially if you're a senior, reach out to your high school guidance counselor or that person that is there in your high school to help you with this. If that's not available to you, you can reach out to the College Day program at Western Michigan University, and they can help you to take those first steps and to get you to college. So we have reached another round of trivia, and I'm going to pull that up for you. And as usual, read the questions for you. All right. So here are our questions today. And the first one is, who would you contact if you had a question about a college application? The options are my high school counselor. Oh, they're in a little bit of shuffled order. An admissions advisor from that college, both of those, or none of those. And then the second one is, where can you find these webinars and more resources to prepare you for college? And your options are the WMU College Day Facebook page, the WMU 2020 Wix site page, College Day website, and the WMISH Pre-College College Day website.
Thanks for making those a little bit easier today, Madison.
No problem. I just wanted to remind everyone of what we've gone over today. I know it's probably not as exciting as having our guest presenters in, but all right, so our votes are in. Okay, and here are our results. So 100% guessed both of the above, which is the case. If you have a question about a college application, you can talk to your high school counselor. Or if it's a specific application from a college, you can reach out to an admissions advisor from that college, and they should be able to help clarify some things for you. And don't forget, we also did a webinar about applying to colleges, and there's some resources as well on the website. And then, where can you find these webinars and more resources to help prepare you for college? It's kind of a trick question. The answer is all of the above. Like I mentioned earlier, you can follow the WMU College Day Facebook page. We go live there, so those live videos of these webinars will be there. If you would rather watch on YouTube, I've posted them to YouTube as well, and the links to that are through the WMU 2020 Wixsite.com College Day website. And then if you go to the wmish.edu pre-college College Day website, you'll find more information about College Day, and it will direct you to the Facebook page as well, and it sort of comes full circle for you. Okay. As usual, thank you for participating.
Thank you, Madison, for that great information and a nice summary of the ways that we can engage and learn more about college opportunities. I hope you all have enjoyed our webinar series, and our primary goal is to help high school students find a college, think about college, and create that college-going culture. So all of the College Day students who have attended this webinar, don't forget that you get a free t-shirt. So please be sure that you visited the College Day website and registered for the webinars. And I'll do our official closing of our webinar series. A recording of our webinar will be made available on the 2020 College Day website. And we thank you. We thank the KCP and WMU College Day program. And we want to know, where are you going to college and how can we help you get there?